Bam! My peoples. My peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Y'all know what we doing, man. We talking boxing. I'm Jay Smith. Let me kick this thing off by saying it's a beautiful day, my peoples. If you up, if you breathing, God gave you another day. First thing you should be saying in the morning, thank you, God. We got another one we get to enjoy life. We get to enjoy the sweet science. And by the way, we had a great Saturday of boxing. Let me say, what's the deal to those already tuning inside in the building, underrated Will Weeb? What's the deal, fellas? Check it. Very, very interesting Saturday of boxing. I'm going to kick this thing off with Curmel Moton, who fought yesterday. And that's a beautiful day, my G, no doubt. So, Curmel Moton fought yesterday, and he did what he does. Disposed of his opponent, second round stoppage. After the second round, his opponent's corner threw in the towel. Flores. They were like, no mas. They already know what's going on, but you see Curmel just doing what he does, destructive. He wants to go out there and inflict bodily harm, let out the heavy artillery. And what I love about Curmel is the way that he does his combinations. He loves to go down low and up top, or up top and down low. And you see him, do those variations in every fight. He does it. He works to the body hard, digs hard to the body, and then goes up top. And it's like his opponents, they don't know even how to block, because these punches are coming from all angles, up, down, from the middle, everything. So Curmel, did what he was supposed to do. This was supposed to be a 10-rounder. Curmel stopped Buddy, like I said, in the second round, after the second round. So good. Listen, when you watch Curmel Moton, you can see why he's going to be a star. MS Curmel built like Tank Davis. Yes, sir. And you can see, that he, as a matter of fact, he has, I think, a bigger frame than Tank. A natural, bigger frame than Tank. You know why? Because look what he's fighting at, 140. He's fighting at 140, and I think he's still 19 years old right now. So that tells us right there, Tank got one fight in that division, and that's it. So Curmel, he got a big frame, and you see the power, man. When he throw his shots, Curmel put bad intention behind them. He's out there trying to hurt you. That's the thing. Curmel Moton, he's a young fighter who has all the tools and resources to become a superstar. G Hollywood, he already is, just a little more experienced. He has everything that it takes to become, not just a world champion, but somebody who defends titles, unifies titles, wins in different divisions. He's one of those type of fighters. And I've seen coaches talking about him and say that trained to perfection. Fareed has said that Curmel, his work ethic is Floyd Mayweather-like. Like he got that from Floyd, so he's always in the gym. And you see that if you follow him on social media, Curmel's the type of fighter who, even when he's not set up to fight somebody, you see him in the gym. He's a gym rat. You see him in the gym. You see him working out. See him hitting the bags. You see him running when he don't even have a fight set up. So you're not going to see a picture or a video of a Curmel who's out of shape. You're just not going to see it. Of course, between fights, he's a young fighter. He's going to gain weight, but you see him gain weight strong, not looking flabby and shit. So be on the lookout, my peoples. I'm telling you, Curmel Moton, he's one of these fighters who he's not just trying to win. He's trying to win in explosive fashion every time out. He's trying to climb up the rankings. And it's going to be a showdown at some point between him and Zaquin Moses. Yes, sir. Zay Quinn handed Curmel his last loss in the amateurs when they were shooting to go for the Olympics. And they're going to see each other in the pros. And it's going to be a big, big fight. Both great young fighters. So I'm looking, that's years down the line. But I'm telling you, it's going to happen. But for now, both of them are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Curmel Moton wins in explosive fashion. Salute to Curmel, man, doing his thing. And salute to his pops. They grinding hard and they're accomplishing. They getting one step closer to their goal. Curmel is now 9-0. There you have it, my people. Now, that was a good way to start a Saturday of boxing. But then we go to a monster upset that we got this year. Early into the year, my people, early into 2026, Elijah Pierce versus Lorenzo Parra. Listen, I was like, Pierce gonna handle business. Elijah Pierce gonna put the Swiss, the Dre, and the Applebee's on Lorenzo Parra. Okay, fight starts. In the first round, I already see Parra kind of swinging for the fences. Boom, boom, boom. And Elijah Pierce is kind of like taking it easy, like trying to get into rhythm. But this guy is already going on all cylinders, like he's going hard. Boom, clipped him with a good shot in the first round, buckled him. You saw Elijah maintain his composure. But this guy was just going hard from the beginning. So in the second round, the unexpected took place. Lorenzo Parra landed a monster shot on Elijah Pierce. Boom, hurt him. Backed him up. I was like, oh, shit. He closed the gap and caught Elijah, bam, bam, with a nasty shot to the snack box. Boom, caught him like real hard, buckled both of his legs. You saw Elijah Pierce, both his hands go down here, and then Parra capitalized, landed like 4 shots. Boom, 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 to the mouthpiece, to the snack box. All in the grill piece, my peoples. The referee pulled the plug. But you saw Elijah Pierce's hands was down here. Like, when a fighter's still standing up, but he's out of it? That's what it was. Elijah was like this. Boom, 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 boom. And he said he wanted to keep going. And look, as a fighter, most fighters want to keep going. You want to get your get back. But he was really hurt, man. He was really, really hurt. I think if the referee would have let him keep going, he would have got brutalized. Flip mode. Salute, Jay. You've been doing your thing. And I really appreciate that because you keep it real. And that's why I'll always be in your corner, brother. Salute, family. Appreciate you. Did you see this fight? What an upset, bro. The unexpected. Who would have thought that Lorenzo Parra was going to stop Elijah Pierce in the second round to take his title from him? This man won this is the biggest and most important win of his career. Everybody in the arena was stunned. You saw when Elijah went down and the referee waved it, they put the camera on the crowd and you saw people like this and like this. Just people couldn't believe it. This guy that was out there to lose, he was supposed to lose. He can't be, no way, Elijah Pierce, the world champion. Man, nice. It didn't play out the way we thought. Most of us, I don't know anybody. Nobody told me, yeah, Lorenzo Parra's going to get him. Nobody told me that. I can tell you guys. Joaquin, salute, family. Bam. Nobody told me that that's what they expected. But listen, my peoples. Lorenzo Parra put all type of hands. All type of hands on Elijah Pierce. I gotta tell you, I gotta call it how I see it. And I know that Elijah wanted to keep going, but me personally, I felt it was a good stoppage. I felt it was a good stoppage, my peoples. Gotta keep it real with y'all. I gotta keep it 100 with y'all. Out Booger, salute, family. Bam! Because when you see that a fighter is getting punched, with multiple shots that land hard flush, and he doesn't even have the wherewithal to try to block them, his hands down here like that, boom, boom, boom. It's time to pull the plug on that fight. Even though you feel like you wanted to keep going, your body wasn't going to help you. If they would have allowed that fight to continue, Elijah Pierce could have been hurt badly. He would have went on a stretcher type of hurt. I'll buckle for sure. Elijah would have got hurt bad if that fight continued. He was rolling on the floor. He was completely out of it. I understand that he's a warrior and he want to keep going. But nah, man. He just didn't have it in him. That's it. Once you get hurt like that, you're not going to recover in a few seconds and bounce back and be doing your thing. I know in his mind, he feel like, yeah, I could have come back and beat him. Nah, you was cooked already. You was cooked. Lorenzo Parra landed some monster shots. Had him out on his feet. Out on his feet, my peoples. I watched the replay like 5 times. Like this, look. Boom, 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 boom. Nah, there was no way. So that's obviously a monster upset. We was not expecting it. I know I wasn't expecting it, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. This is what makes boxing interesting, y'all. Just like Forrest Gump said, but add boxing to it. Boxing is like a box of chocolate, yo. You never know what you're going to get. And that's what we saw from Lorenzo Parra. He was the box of chocolate yesterday. The monster upset. So this was the main event, obviously. Got to watch that. And it was, it was only 2 rounds. You would have thought that this thing could have gone the distance, that it was going to be a super competitive fight at best, and Elijah Pierce was going to beat him. But think about it. When is the last time you saw a champion get obliterated in 2 rounds? Who was the last champion to get knocked out that early? Usually it's the heavyweights, but you just don't see it like that, man. A champion just get obliterated early in the fight like that in round number 2. But it's like I told you, my peoples. Lorenzo Parra came swinging from the beginning. Boom, boom, boom. You saw him throwing hard shots in round number 1, while Elijah Pierce seemed to not be in his rhythm. Yeah, so he came out fast. He came out swinging and landed some of the... In the first round, he buckled them. Underrated Will. Good morning again. Boxing a family. I lost money on that fight. Damn, my brother. A lot of people lost money on that fight. You saw the crowd was stunned. When they put the camera on the crowd, people was like, just couldn't believe it. Lorenzo Parra. And I'm going to tell you what, even though you lost money, this is what makes boxing interesting. An upset can come on any given fight. You just never know who's going to be upset. No result is guaranteed. Because I'm telling you, I don't know one person who said that Parra was going to win this fight. And he wins by stoppage in the 2nd round. By the way, the people who put money on Parra, they made some good money. Because he was like a heavy underdog in this fight. So salute, congratulations to Lorenzo Parra, who becomes a world champion against all odds. There you have it. Let's move on to the next one, fellas. Emiliano Vargas, my peoples. Did you guys see this fight? Whoa. Quintana, what's his full name? Quintana proved to be a tough opponent. Whoa, my peoples. They was going at it, trading nasty leather. Did you guys see this fight? Al Booger, disgusting stoppage. Marky, what did I tell you about Navarrete? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. Hold on. We're going to get to that. That's the main event. Hold on. That's the main course. We still in the dessert, fam. Ow. Quintana should have been allowed to finish the fight. He deserved it. So I'm going to tell you like this, man. Quintana was giving Emiliano hell. Yes, towards the end of the fight, Augustine Quintana. Yes, towards the end of the fight, he started getting caught with big shots, and his punch output started decreasing. He started to get broken down, but he never stopped fighting. He never stopped throwing punches. He never, stopped landing big punches, because even in the rounds that he was losing, he was still landing some big punches. He was landing some good punches. So the fight was competitive. They was going back and forth. And unfortunately for him, he was cut on both sides and bleeding from both sides. But remember, the first cut over the right eye, I think it was, that was from an accidental headbutt. But then he got cut in the other eye. So now he's bleeding from both sides, swollen. I'm going to tell you like this. I felt like he could have kept going because of the way he was acting and the way he was fighting. And you saw how upset he was when the ref stopped it. But at the same time, bro, there's that side of me that says, nah, it was a good stoppage. Yeah, he a warrior. He wanted to keep going. But you know why I'm saying it was a good stoppage? Because if you remember, after round number 10th, when the doctor checked his eye, it was almost swollen shut. He had a little bit open like this. Just like this, look. Just a little bit. And after round number 11, that's it. When they checked that eye, that's it. It was completely swollen shut. They're not going to let you fight with just one eye. And, he took a lot of damage to that eye specifically. So that one more round could be the reason why he ended up blind or he ended up getting hurt really badly. Because I want you to think about it. It's like kind of Cyclops. I want you to think about it. In that round number 11, he took some nasty shot that he clearly didn't see coming. Boom, boom. The right eye was, it was the right eye that was shut. And he took some nasty shots. So, yes, he wanted to keep going physically. He was strong. He was still, throwing punches, fighting back. But ultimately, his eye was bad. So, if you look at it from that point of view, it was a good stoppage, man. They could have saved him from a horrible injury. The lunatic librarian in the building. Salute, family. Bam. And then, of course, so yeah, man, salute to Emiliano Vargas. That was a top-notch win. And look what he said after the fight. He wants to fight at least a former world champion and then get a title shot by the end of the year or early next year. I'm going to tell you right now, man, Emiliano Vargas is a young fighter who has the potential to become a superstar. This kid really can become a superstar. I feel you. I was hot, but you have a good point. Yeah, I mean, take a look at it. And you could see that he was hot. Quintana wanted to keep going. He was very upset. But if you look at his eye, that thing was like that swollen shut. And in round number 11, he took some monster shots that he didn't even see coming. It was like, boom, boom. So that could have been a catastrophic round number 12 for him. Sometimes you got to save a fighter from themselves. Because, when you train or fight, oftentimes, you don't know when to stop. You don't want to stop. You're not trained to stop. So, I think, like I said, man, at watching it, I felt like he could have kept going, but then I'm looking at the eye, I'm like, yeah, that's a good stoppage, man. The lunatic librarian. Do we criticize the cut man and his corner for not keeping the eye open? I don't think so, because you can't keep the eye open if your opponent is already targeting it and landing good shots on it. There's no way that you're going to keep it open. That's it. And then he's cut on both sides, bleeding from both sides. Like, I don't think his team, if anything, we got to give him credit for keeping him going that long because he got cut. That cut for the headbutt was early and it was a nice cut. And they kept him going. But, once those punches kept landing on that eye, it was a wrap. I felt like it was a good stoppage. Good stoppage, good fight. He proved that he's a good fighter, tough. And I think we'll see him get some more opportunities with some named fighters. So salute to Quintana. And of course, congratulations to Emiliano Vargas, who walked out of there with the W and gets one step closer to accomplishing his dream of becoming a world champion. Marky, I am never going to miss another Mexican versus Mexican bout again. Man, listen, when you get two Mexicans, it's usually going to be something like, bam, Sugar Nunes and El Vaquero Navarrete. My peoples, what a showdown. The main event did not disappoint. And, by the way, I told ya this thing was going to be a slugfest. So, let me give you guys the quick breakdown on this fight. Give you guys the quick breakdown. The first 4 rounds, Sugar Nunes was being dominated. Navarrete was teeing off on him with the jab and the 1-2s, keeping him at a distance, but Sugar Nunes was fighting the wrong fight. And I told people, he was trying to, move around, and counter Navarrete. But he wasn't within range. He was missing a lot of those attempted counter shots, and he was getting hit with some big punches, with some good punches. And he just kept moving and trying to counter. He was reacting off of what Navarrete was doing. Lost the first 4 rounds. But then he made the adjustment that I said he needed to make. I said, look, Sugar Nunes needs to go forward, needs to apply pressure. Work behind the jab, get on the inside, and let your hands fly, because you're not going to win from the outside. He started actually doing that in round number 5. The first round that he won of the fight was that 5th round. He was, close to gap, started trading shots, beating Navarrete to the punch. I said it. He has to go first. He cannot just wait and react. And he started doing that, going forward, applying pressure, throwing a lot of punches to the body, and then going up top. And he started making it interesting. But after a few rounds, Navarrete started picking up the pace again. It started landing big shots. Boom, boom. Consistently. Sugar Nunes kept fighting, kept working hard to the body. But Navarrete, every time he was trying to close the gap, he was catching him with some shots. Like, he made him pay. You was not just going to close the range and fight me up close. No, you were going to eat bam, 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 and then you're inside over here. And then we trading with each other. But Navarrete, very good punches from the inside, from the outside. It's like I told you yesterday, man, El Vaquero, he has this crazy talent that his feet be tangled up. He's like all over the place with his feet, but still punching effectively. Sugar Nunes just couldn't find an answer. And towards the end, that's when it got interesting, because you saw Navarrete landing some big shots to the dome piece, shots that would have probably stopped somebody else, but Sugar Nunes kept going forward. And you could see, he got stumbled a couple of times. He got buckled, but he kept punching, kept going forward. And the fight ended up getting stopped. After round number 10, they went and looked at him and told him, yo, we got to see something. And after round number 11, they decided to pull the plug on the fight. Sugar Nunes wanted to keep going, but he was taking monster shots to the dome piece from Navarrete. And now Navarrete is a unified world champion in the 130 division, which, by the way, did you see how big Navarrete looked? Golly. Nah, bro, Al, it's not that Nunes too small. Navarrete big as hell in the 130 division. He looked huge. He looked like he was a weight class above Sugar Nunes in that ring. Al, what does Vargas have to improve on going forward? I mean, I think he has to be a little bit more responsible when he get on the inside. Sometimes I think he gets hit with shots that he shouldn't be hit with, because he has very good head and waist movement. He's very good at slipping punches. But I think sometimes he get on the inside and get a little bit reckless and get caught with some shots. But he's a young fighter. He's still developing. I think that he's going to improve when it comes to that. And you see the offensive firepower, the combination punching. He's a complete fighter. But like I said, man, I don't think Nunes is too small. I think Navarrete at 130 pounds, man, golly, he a big dude, bro. Our booger salute the cowboy. I'm telling you, my peoples, Navarrete, congrats to him in the 130 division. And people don't even realize this dude right here, he's quietly accomplishing a lot in boxing. He's already a 3-division champion. And right now, he's a unified champion. So Navarrete, is putting together a real good resume quietly, because we almost forget about him when he's not fighting. And if you think about it, when we talking about the best fighters around those divisions, 130, 135, 140, Navarrete doesn't come up that much. But every time you watch him fight, it's like, damn, man, this dude can fight. He can fight, and he's a world champion who's accomplished in multiple divisions, now a unified champion. Put some respect on Emanuel Navarrete's name, my peoples. Those were the fights from yesterday. I got to tell you, Curmel Molton, he's showing us, man, that he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, already 9-0. Got rid of his opponent in 2 rounds. After the second round, they was like, no mas. They didn't want no more action with Curmel, my peoples. Flip mode. Jay Stradamus, how do you feel about Keyshawn calling out Devin and Pitbull? And which one, in your opinion, will be a better fight? And who do you see being victorious? So I got to say, look, Keyshawn Davis versus Devin Haney, that's not going to happen. Right now, it's already looking like we're going to get Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. Why? Because Devin Haney already said, let's get it. Do your VADA testing and let's get it. And Ryan Garcia, okay, you want me to destroy you? That's what I'm going to do. So I got a feeling we're going to get Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia next. And it could have been, it looked like it was going to be Shakur Stevenson versus Ryan Garcia, but Devin was like, damn, man, I can't let Shakur get that fight first. I was bluffing about the ship sale with Ryan Garcia fight. I'm not fighting him. I was bluffing. That's the biggest fight in boxing, y'all. Devin is slick. So let's see what was next for Keyshawn Davis. Pitbull Cruz, I think that's a fight that could be made. If it is made, Keyshawn Davis got him. Keyshawn got him. Now, my peoples, I was right here in Curmel Moton. A quick recap of the fight from yesterday. Curmel Moton got the W. After the second round, his opponent's corner, they pulled the plug. They was like, nah, we don't want no more. We good. You see it, my peoples. Curmel, special fighter. By the way, his fight is already up on YouTube. So if you didn't see it live, I didn't have the opportunity to see it live. I don't know if it was televised or not, but I missed it. But right away when it finished, I went and I looked for it and I watched it. And Curmel, he did what he does, man. Let the hands fly. Devastating puncher. Young fighter. You see he's naturally heavy-handed. People keep comparing him to Tank Davis because of that power, because of that aggressive style, the way that he applied pressure, the combination, the left and the right hooks to the body, to the dome piece. And he's out there to hurt you. Curmel is out there to inflict bodily harm upon thee. So congratulations to Curmel Moton. And then, damn, my peoples, Lorenzo Parra upset Elijah Pierce. We was not expecting this. We was not ready for this, my peoples. Whoa, second round stoppage of the world champion? When's the last time you seen a champion get upset via a second round stoppage? That was early. But let me tell you that Lorenzo Parra, he went out swinging from the very first round. You saw throwing some hard punches. I'm like, damn, this man ain't wasting no time. And it's like he caught Elijah Pierce cold, B. He didn't even let him warm up. In the first round, he already landed a couple of big shots, buckled them. Elijah Pierce, he stayed calm, but his punch output never really went up like that. And then you saw round number 2, man, Parra went out swinging right away. And when he landed some good shots, he capitalized, got Elijah Pierce out of there. Out Booger, Curmel looked good, coming along nicely, man. Every time we see Curmel, you see that development process. You see his body. You see the way he's moving. He's special, and he's gonna accomplish big things in the sport of boxing. That's for sure. But there was another upset, but this for sure was the upset of the night, and it's so far probably the upset of the year. I know we already March 1st, but this has to be the upset of the year. We just watched a world champion get stopped in the second round. Nobody expected that. So congratulations to Lorenzo Parra. Elijah Pierce, I believe that he'll be back. You know, he's an elite level fighter. He's very skilled. You know, he was a world champion for a reason, and I believe that we'll see him hold another title. Matter of fact, he said that he's going to get his rematch. I think if he gets his rematch, he could win this fight. He could beat Lorenzo Parra. But, man, yesterday, Parra was the better man. Salute. What a fight. Gotta give it to him. Gotta give it to him. Then, of course, there you go, right there, my peoples. In case you don't know him, that's Lorenzo Parra against all odds. Walked out of there with the dub. And then, of course, Emiliano Vargas, my peoples. Listen, Emiliano Vargas versus Quintana, that was a tough fight. Tough fight. It almost went the distance. In round number 9, they stopped it while Quintana was in the corner. Quintana was very upset. He wanted to keep fighting. But ultimately, you know, he had 2 cuts, both sides bleeding. One side was super swollen. And by the end of round number 10, the eye was swollen shut. Matter of fact, was that a 12-rounder? Was it a 12-rounder? Because if it was a 12-rounder, then it was in round number 11. Can't remember if it was a 10 or a 12-rounder. Y'all can fill me in, my peoples. But one round, it was only one round to go in the fight. And they pulled the plug. Quintana was super upset. He wanted to keep going. And the referee was like, nah, you good, fam. I was swollen shut. Like I said earlier, I felt like it was a good stoppage. You know, sometimes you got to protect a fighter from themselves. So congratulations to Emiliano Vargas. Congratulations to Fernando Vargas doing a great job with his son. That development process is going crazy right now. You know, he's one of the biggest young stars in boxing. And you're going to see him accomplish. He says that he wants to get that title shot either late this year or early next year. Then, my peoples, of course, the main event. Whoa. Sugar Nunes started. Oh, yeah, there you go. Out. It was a 10-rounder. Sugar Nunes, my peoples. Whoa. This turned into a slugfest. You know, at first, Sugar Nunes was very shy with the punch output, moving around too much. The first 4 rounds, he got swept. But then he started applying his own pressure, started letting the hands fly. And I was like, okay, Sugar Nunes going to make it interesting. But the happiness didn't last for Sugar Nunes. Vargas, Navarrete started stepping up the pace once again, landing base shots to the dome piece, to the mouthpiece, to the wig piece. And ultimately, he just was outworking Sugar Nunes and landing the bigger, better shots throughout. The jab from Emanuel Navarrete was crazy. Crazy, my people. You saw Navarrete at a distance. Bam, 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 jabbing him. Navarrete looks too big for the 130 division at this point. He looked too big for Sugar Nunes. Flip mode. What a great day for the sport yesterday. And if anyone disagrees, you're a goofball. That would be straight up goofballery, man. Yesterday, we got some great action. And the main event in both cases, you saw Elijah Pierce, Lorenzo Parra. Pierce got stopped in the second round. Who would have expected that? That's why I said it earlier. Boxing is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get. Those upsets, you just don't know when they're going to happen. Whoa. It would be straight up goofballery to say it wasn't a great Saturday of boxing. And capped off by two great main events, like I said, man, Elijah Pierce versus Lorenzo Parra. Obviously, it wasn't a good night for Pierce, but, you know, it was a great fight. For boxing, you know, when an upset happens, it's like, there you go, so a new name grabs a title now. Somebody new who's in the picture, who people are going to be talking about, who a lot of people never even knew. And now Lorenzo Parra is a world champion. You got to give him his respect. And that's the thing. He's not a paper champion. He's a guy who beat Elijah Pierce on the biggest fight of his career. So you got to give Lorenzo Parra his credit. World champion right now. And then the other main event, Sugar Nunes and Emanuel Navarrete. That fight was action-packed. But ultimately, Navarrete was landing the bigger shots. You know, Nunes' dome piece was all over the place. Lefts and rights all over the mouthpiece, the nose piece, the face piece, the ear piece, the wig piece. Navarrete looking like an octopus out there. Just punches from all over the place. Gay Rivera, my brother, what's the deal? Bam! Did you watch these fights yesterday, man? Navarrete let the hands fly in the main event to become a unified champion. And then in the other main event, Elijah Pierce got upset. I don't think anybody expected that to happen. Not just because, look, the reality is that you never, you know, most people don't expect an upset to happen. Sometimes you bet on the upset. I have. I'm like, yeah, he's going to pull up the upset. But in most cases, you know, when you're talking about a world champion versus a guy who's expected to lose, you're not expecting an upset, but then a stoppage in the second round? Whoa. And it's like I said, man, I know Elijah Pierce wanted to keep going. He wanted to keep fighting. If they would have allowed that fight to continue, he would have got brutalized out there. Because he was eating some nasty, nasty shots right before he went down. Rolling around the floor, you could see that he was out of it. So, you know, your instinct, your fighting instinct, tell you that you want to keep going and that you could have did better and that you could have did good. You could have came back and won that fight. But if they would have let that fight continue, he would have got hurt badly, my people. Badly. Remember that I told you that. Watch the replay. I can't show it to you because I don't want YouTube to give me a strike and shit for using copyright comment. They've been I didn't even say nothing. I digress. Watch the replay, my peoples. YouTube the replay of Elijah Pierce versus Lorenzo Parra. So you can see that stoppage. Once you see that stoppage, then you could tell me. You could come to this video or another one and be like, yo, yeah, I saw the stoppage. It should have kept going or it should have been stopped. You give me your opinion. But look at the slow motion replay of the punches that was landing on Elijah Pierce. Hands down here, look. Boom, 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 boom. Yes. Yes, it needed to get stopped. Gay Rivera. Yeah, I was shocked in the Pierce fight. And I thought the Vargas fight was a war. They shouldn't stop it. So look, man, they even pointed the cameras at the crowd when Elijah Pierce got stopped. And you saw people in the crowd like this. And like this. And talking to you. You could see that people were stunned in the crowd to see that stoppage. Now, I'm going to tell you what, Gabe, when I was watching it and I saw how upset Quintana was about the stoppage, I was like, damn, man, he could have kept going. But as they started showing his eye more and more, I was like, nah, bro, that's a good stoppage. His eye was completely shut, like this, completely shut. And in that round number 9, yo, he ate some shots, nasty ones, that you could tell he didn't even see it coming. He didn't even try to block it. Like, he was kind of like this, boom, boom, boom. He wasn't seeing those shots from that side. So, physically, yes, he was strong. He was still able to punch, fight. but he was taking some nasty damage, man. You don't know, he could have been left blind if he would have went another round, or knocked out brutally, hit with a shot that he didn't see coming. So yes, there's a side of me that felt like he could have kept going because he wanted to and he was fighting back. But then it's like, damn, look at the damage that you already taken to that eye. Al Booger kind of reminded me of Ray Mercer versus Tommy Morrison a little bit. Yo, the only thing is that Ray Mercer, the referee let him go too long, man. He like in this case at least, the referee stepped in after like 4 or 5 unanswered shots. Before he stepped in, Ray Mercer, he almost let Tommy Morrison get killed out there. He's almost like he didn't stop it because Tommy Morrison was already going down. Flip mode. Sometimes we may not know a guy as well as other, but that doesn't mean the less recognized guy isn't coming to win. That's a fact. That is a fact. The thing is, oftentimes, the less recognized guy is going to lose in most cases. And people come to have those expectations like, yeah, this guy's going to lose. This guy's going to get beat. And now you're looking at Elijah Pierce, who's a legitimate world champion, who's going in there to defend. And this guy's just going to come and do him like that? Stop him in 2 rounds? Like, nobody would have expected that, man. Golly. Nobody. I didn't see nobody before the fight say, yeah, Lorenzo Parra's going to beat Elijah Pierce. I didn't see it. Gabe Rivera, you got a point. That's why the ref is there, to protect the fighters. That's right, because, and we've seen it before, fighters need someone to protect them from themselves because they want to keep fighting. If you look at Elijah Pierce, he wanted to keep going. Quintana and Pierce both wanted to keep going, but they was both hurt in one way or another. They was both hurt. Because if you look at Quintana's eye, bro, that thing was messed up really bad. And they look, after round number 8, they looked at the eye. The doctor went and checked them out. And then after round number 9, that's it. Now it was completely shut. So if you look at the damage that he had in the eye, I think it's fair to say that it was a reasonable stoppage. Because, do we really need to wait for a guy to be in a stretcher, carried out in a stretcher? I remember I had Hall of Famer referee Joe Cortez join me on the show. And he told me that, he's not trying to wait for a guy to be knocked out unconscious or taken out in the stretcher. He's trying to stop the fight because he already see the damage that's being caused. Gabe Rivera, the main event, Sugar wanted to keep fighting too. You see, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Sugar Nunes wanted to keep fighting, but he was taking some shots to the dome piece. Nasty shots. Did you see round number 10 and round number 11, how Navarrete was catching him with those hard shots to the dome piece? And Navarrete kept catching him with a right uppercut and a left hook. Bam, 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 bam. He kept catching him with that combo. That was a good stoppage too, man. Fighters sometimes need to be protected from themselves. Because ultimately, they want to keep going. You want to keep fighting. Stay blessed, Kitchen. Salute, family. So I felt like all of those fights were stopped, and it was the right thing to do. It was the right thing to do. Because we always forget, up until it happens, that boxing is the sport where the most people die in combat sports. Not MMA, not bare knuckle, no full contact, none of that. Boxing. People get killed. So it just take that one shot. It just take you leaving him a little bit longer than he could have stayed. Boxers are never going to give up. You got to pull the plug on the fight. Some boxers do. Because that's the thing. There's a culture in boxing that if you give up, the fans discredit you. Oh, he gave up. He gave up. So Fighters are trained to just keep going. MS. Navarrete was landing hard flush hooks to the body while on the back foot. To the body, to the dome piece, all over the place. Sugar Nunes was landing some good shots here and there, but for the most part, he wasn't. Al, what's the appropriate weight class for Navarrete? Man, listen. Navarrete fight at 130, but I feel like he could be at 140 right now. Man, this dude could even probably be at welterweight if he wanted to. Navarrete a big dude, bro. He looked big as hell. Like, because you got to think about this. Navarrete is a guy who's already moved up 3 divisions in his career. He's a 3-division champion. So he was super skinny. He's been just getting weight, but he's a big dude. I think Navarrete got the type of frame that he'll probably cap off his career at 147. I don't know how much more he's going to be able to stay at 130. Honestly, I don't know how much more he's going to be able to stay there. How much longer. Flip mode. 2026 is going to be a great year for Box Center with Jay Smith. Go check out all the shorts. Like, comment, and subscribe. Salute, family. I appreciate it, man. You know, I'm dropping shorts consistently, and I think the shorts that I upload, those videos show my love for the sweet science. You know why, Flip mode? Because the shorts, they're not even getting a lot of views right now. I'm not in the algorithm. Since I got that YouTube strike, the shorts that I post be getting 25 likes, 50 likes, 70. Some go over 100, but most ain't even going over 100. And I don't stop doing them. I don't tell myself, well, I could get some views in the live. I'm not going to do shorts because that's not getting any views. Nah, it doesn't matter. You know, I love the sport of boxing, and I make those videos. I know the people who do watch them enjoy them. Most of the people who watch the live don't watch the shorts. But I know those who watch it enjoy them. Gay Rivera, you think Curmel should move up in competition? Because he smoked that guy last night. Don't look like he didn't belong in there with Moton. So, this was only Curmel Moton's 9th professional fight. I think they're going to gradually step him up. This young lion is about that smoke. Curmel's going to be the type of fighter who you're going to see looking to fight the best out there. Looking to say, I'm the best, I'm the guy, I beat everybody. So I think they're going to do that. It's a process. This was only his 9th professional fight. So, you know, if I'm not mistaken, 19 years old. So there's no need to rush him. You know, they don't want to right away say, oh, we're calling out champions and all of that. Even though they were willing to turn pro versus Lee Wood when he was a world champion, or he is a world champion. But I don't think they necessarily want to rush him when he's that young. Take your time, develop him, and eventually he's going to be one of the biggest stars in boxing. He's going to be one of those guys. My peoples, I'm about to end this episode, a special edition of Boxing for Breakfast Sunday morning for you guys. I want you to enjoy the rest of your Sunday, enjoy your family. I'm about to have a good day with my family. Y'all already know, man. We're going to have a special episode of Boxing for Breakfast Monday morning. Today's the first day of the year, my peoples. I mean, the first day of March. Let's go hard this month, just like we've been doing this year. The rest of the year, we're going to continue to do that. Boxing for Breakfast. Yo, I'm glad that you guys are embracing it, that you guys are tuning in day after day. And I promise you, man, we're going to keep it going in 2026. We doing what we got to do, my peoples. Salute to everybody who tuned in this morning. Gabe, salute family, Flip Mode, Al, MS. Who else tuned in this morning? Marky, Al Booger, Queeb, Sad. My peoples, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Boxing for Breakfast special edition on a Sunday. Come on now. And if you didn't hit the like button, shame on you, my people. You could have double tapped that screen. An hour of action, I didn't even get to 20 likes. That's quite brutal, my peoples. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow, though, man. Jay Smith, I'm signing off. I'm out. Peace. Bam.